Alright, here we go again. This might be the end. We'll see. I have a good feeling that we'll make it through to the end of the game today. But that very much depends on whether this is actually the second to last area like I suspect it to be, or if there's more. Since I'm still going into this blind, I can't guarantee where the end of the game actually is. I'm just going on my gut feeling based on how this is being put forward. At the rate we're going, we need the elemental defense more. Can't get up there. Based on all I'm seeing out there about this game, I'm not the only one thinking this game is pretty rough, though I will say it certainly seems like people have a worse opinion of it than I do. And, you know, that's fair. They may have had a worse time in certain parts, or they may have primarily seen before the rebalance and assumed it was never going to get better, which is honestly fair. A lot of games never get better, or unfortunately. This one got a lot better, I'd say. Don't get me wrong. In its original form, it was probably entirely doable. What the hell is this? How do I get out of that? There we go. Yeah, I'm assuming it was entirely doable to beat the game in its original form. The thing for me became, it was not going to be worth it. It was not going to be enjoyable to watch, and it wasn't going to be enjoyable to play. So I didn't bother. And judging from the experience of those who did complete it, as it was originally designed, I made the right choice. Because they did not have a good time. Can someone wear that as a badge of honor that they completed in the original form? Sure. They can also wear a dunce cap for being a fool and taking on a harder challenge than needed. Because sometimes a little patience goes a long way. Especially in terms of game design. Give them a chance to fix their shit, and you'll be pleasantly surprised pretty often, as long as they're given the correct feedback. Because that's always the key, is you need to give the correct feedback to the developer to get the result you want. And of course it has to actually be a developer that's receptive to feedback. As we all know, there are plenty of groups out there that will ignore all feedback in favor of doing it how they want. Or will only listen to those who give them the most money. Given the time frame for the fixes on this, I'd say they listened pretty good, and they listened pretty quickly. So I have no complaints in that regard. Could it have been better to start with? Sure. But let's be real. That's asking a little bit much for it to be perfectly balanced and good in every way right out the gate. When more than likely their focus group was not necessarily the best choice. And it does make me wish I had actually played the demo when it was available. Because I downloaded the demo. It was freely available to everybody. So it's not like I had any reason not to, aside from I just got buried in demos and didn't get around to that specific one. Because I had assumed it was going to be good, because it looked good and everything I was hearing about it sounded good. So I just kind of let it be. Now I'm wondering if me and other people had actually picked up the demo and played it at the time, could we have avoided the release state that it ended up in? The answer is probably no. Because you gotta think. By the time a game's demo is released, more than likely they're far enough into development that you're not really going to be able to make significant changes quickly. Will they be able to make that patch that rebalanced things sooner as a result of that feedback? Maybe. But I don't think it would have changed the way things played out in a significant manner. But it's a nice dream. Just one of those things. You could what if all day, every day. And nothing will ever really change. Because in the end, what if is just that? What if this was different? Like, what if this guy wasn't stuck against this block on the other side here? Then I wouldn't have been distracted long enough to get poisoned. Thankfully, apparently in this game, poison doesn't last very long, because I was only really poisoned while I was in the gas, which is shockingly fair. I'm assuming this is to get me up here. Yeah. You can just stay down there and have a great time. I really thought he was dead. Oh, where the hell did he scamper off to? There he is. Die, you scum. Really not a fan of the Frog Shaman. They hit really goddamn hard. And with minimal warning as to when that attack's actually going to come out, as far as I can tell. Which, you know, with how long it takes them to throw that attack, it's not that bad that it's a minimal warning. But it'd be nice if there was more an alert to it happening. I say that's not a problem because of the fact that you can more often than not kill him before he can actually attack. So, I don't factor that as a serious issue. Unlike some of the bosses and such that have attacks that come out really fast with no real tell to them. That's a lot harsher. Especially since bosses will tend to be a lot more of a problem about being able to get rid of them. Remember, the only issues I have left with this game are primarily things like the ledge grabbing being a bit janky, and the wall jumping sometimes not operating as expected, but I think the wall jumping is more of a me problem than a game problem. I think I'm just changing direction too fast, and that's getting me in trouble. So I wouldn't really count that against them either. So really, I don't have that many complaints left. Not after the rebalance. Which I'm going to keep bringing up because it's a very big part of what made the game the way it is now. Even if I'm sure it will get very tiresome to keep hearing me bring it up. Okay, we can get the map for this area. And that's probably the last map he'll sell. Yeah, you know this continent as much as I do now. There's nothing else I can help you with. If you thought I was going to spend the rest of my day in the city, you were quite wrong. I'm thinking about traveling to other lands with my caravan. If you ever pass by, I'll have a good pile of maps for you, yes? That implies there's gonna be more. But considering we've only got one skill left, we have all of the orbs and all of the relics, it seems highly unlikely that there's gonna be more than, like, one more dungeon area. And I'm betting we're coming up on it now. You know, given the way things look. But the easy answer to that would be looking at the map. Yep, the map has ended. We went through that whole lower area. There's a slight upper area there. Now, what's fascinating to me is it says we've only cleared 27% of this map, and yet I don't see more than 50%, and at most more, on the hidden section of the map, unless they're counting this whole upper area. Which I guess they probably are, but oof. Valley of Silence. I'm assuming there's a boss fight coming up. Oh, it's you. You were with Brigard on the day we met in the desert, weren't you? Soldiers of Zarga. I've always detested the way you act. Your little speeches about justice and peace. You think you're all above everyone else, without realizing that you're nothing more than pawns following orders, just like any other soldier. Even you still go by what you think is fair, without asking yourself if maybe you deserve to end up this way. I, however, will always go by what I want to do. You know better than me. I was hoping to find Brigard, but I suppose a trusted soldier of his will do while he's on his way. It's nothing personal, soldier. You want to kill me. I get it. Just like everybody else, you want me dead. Wind causes bleed. Interesting. Here, have some fun with those spikes. Or you're gonna sit there and shield and eat damage from the bleed. That works for me too. Nah, I thought I angled that right. Still got him on the backswing, though. Galeth, your combat strategy against a caster is questionable. How did you ever make General? Did you fail upward? Is that how you got here? If so, that makes sense. It's just chasing me uselessly around the room is just gonna get you hurt and me laughing. Oh, now you're gonna send your bully boys to come get me for making fun of you. Oh no. Okay, that's a better move. Where were we hiding that one the whole time? Wait, did he hurt himself with that? I think he did. I think he went and hurt himself. Alright, idiot. You wanna play like that? We can play like that. Get set on fire. Hey, let go. Interesting that I could still throw fireballs while he was carrying me around. That's not working out. I was trying to set him on fire to actually get a dot onto him, like I did with the wind. I, for some reason, still have the struggle prompt, which is a little weird. Oh, this guy's not that bad a fight so far. But I'm assuming he's not meant to be that bad a fight. I'm gonna let this clear the rabble out for me while I focus on avoiding his bombs, since there's a lot of them. Jesus. I have the wrong potion out. Nope. 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 Assume that he'll stop once he's out of soldiers. Yeah, okay. Some general you are, sending your men to their death, knowing full well that they can't even hurt me. Ah, I jumped too high. Men are just tools to you, aren't they? Tools just like you're a fool. Oh, I don't know what that move is. Okay, he's just jumping up there and being a coward again. Sending out the bully boys once more. I can't get field control. I'll give him one thing. He brought a lot of troops. He came very well prepared. I'll grant him that. That much as a general he did right. Though, man alive, those bombs suck. I don't know what to do about those, considering you can't jump over them. You can't get past them worth much because they cover a good, like, third of the room. He's got soldiers everywhere. I think you just need to kill him before he gets that far. So now that I've learned his pattern a bit better, in theory I should also take less damage from him in general, so I'll have more healing potions available. Yes, yes. Rah, 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 rah. Doing this already, huh? Okay. Get the health potions up and ready. And the thing is, I get on the one hand that you're supposed to control where he's sending the bombs so that they're not a threat to you, but the problem ends up being I'm under constant threat from his soldiers if I am trying to manage the bombs. Because he does summon an awful lot of guys. And while individually they're no threat to me, like I said, they really do add up. I disagree with that being high enough to hit me. Come on now. Oh, that doesn't match an element. That just actually changed color when I upgraded it. Okay. That's fair. Ah, I didn't think he was gonna go for the charge quite at that moment. Actually, I think saving those bombs for clearing his goons is probably the play. I can throw one that way, deal with the archers. Or apparently weaken them rather than killing them, because, you know... Want to play with bombs? I can play with bombs. I'll dispose of that boy. I don't have enough mana. That is the one issue with this game, is the fact you have to stand fucking still to use potions. That remains the worst thing. Which, yeah, I guess if I had to have any other complaints, it would probably be that. Even though I understand why it works that way. It's to prevent you from just potioning your way to victory the whole game. will say, as a caster, these mana limitations are also pretty bad. But I know that's part on me for not actually going and getting all of the mana reliquaries that are around, because there's probably more that I didn't pick up. Also, could you calm the fuck down with those bombs? Just a little? Good God. How the fuck are you supposed to deal with that much? There's a lot going on there. Like, it starts just becoming enough moving parts that it's not even difficult, it's just a little overwhelming. Ends up being more the issue. I think the axes are the play for his soldiers, and I might just need to save my charges for the latter parts of this fight. There's the bleed. Yeah, because this move rips through his soldiers pretty good. Problem is, it starts hitting a lot, so that we end up with a lot of fucking screen mess as a result. And I just wish the item menu was just a little snappier about getting to where I want it to be. Having your regen and your health potions be as far apart as humanly possible really sucks. Probably shouldn't have traded there, but I think it'll work out in our favor eventually. If I can just maul through his men fast enough, I think... Because I think this phase lasts a certain amount of soldiers. Yes, okay. Because we ended that a lot faster that time. And he does summon a couple more goons now and then, but that's not really an issue. Because we can just get him to chase us around like that, and he just looks like an idiot a lot of the time. Him hitting us once or twice, that's okay. He ended up hitting down instead of up. Because when you snap your finger down toward the... up toward the D-pad, you end up hitting the bottom first, because that's closer. That did not land where I wanted it to. We may still have a problem. Okay, we got rid of all of his men. Now he does still kick a few more bombs, even when he runs out of soldiers. Okay. But it becomes infinitely less of a problem. If you're just gonna hang out, I'm gonna activate all my nonsense and just blast the shit out of you. I almost feel like by rights I should have been hit there, but you know what? I'll take it. Yeah, now he's mad. Now he's gonna do super bullshit mode. So this is when we mop the floor with at least one side of his troops. Mop the floor with the other half. Nope, I jumped into a really bad situation there. Okay, we got through that a lot better thanks to the power of hacks. Probably shouldn't have burnt that axe on him at that point. That was probably a mistake, especially now that he's getting more aggressive. This is the point where we just fucking hammer him to hell. Remembering I have all of these extra moves really does amp my damage to hell and back. Ugh. How is this possible? How do you have so much power? You really exploited this world that much? If you're not gonna finish me, go. I don't need your pity. Get out of here. Rawr, 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 rawr. Oh, what now? Oh, this is where we put the rock. Okay, that's fine. Half the time when it cutscenes, I half expect something to go wrong. Well, this certainly looks important. Wah. Dragon Castle. That seems fitting. Huh. That doesn't seem quite right. Something about that doesn't add up. Oh, yeah. And it being a dragon castle, here's dragons. Hey, buddy. You're like me, you should calm the fuck down. The weird holograms everywhere has me a little concerned about the nature of this world. Has this all been a simulation? Is it gonna pull that shit on me? Has this all been a lie? Wouldn't that be a hell of a thing? Now, considering we've been going to Dragon Swords to save this entire time, I'm not surprised that we end up at a Dragon Castle here at the end. And I say here at the end because that reinforces to me, at the very least, that this is the last place. This is the end. Hi. Okay, we've got dragons of every flavor running about. They're just as corrupt as the rest. Okay, those doors aren't an issue. Got it. Now, unless this area takes exceptionally long compared to all the rest of the areas we've been through up to this point, it's a safe bet that I'll be able to get this done in my usual time frame. If not, I have time today. I will keep going until this is done, unless it takes an exceptionally long time. Because as much as I've enjoyed this ride, I'm kind of reaching the end of my tether with it a bit. Because this is session 8? If I count the initial release sessions? Which, since it's all part of the same playthrough, I would have to. This would be the longest game I've played, for any of you. And I would not say it's been the hardest. It's been rough. But I don't think this is the hardest game. I'm not sure what I'd call the hardest game I've played live. This might be the hardest one I've completed live. So I'm not sure if I'd call Prinny Can I Really Be the Hero the hardest thing I've played live or not. Because while that game was really hard, I don't think it was actually as hard as it felt going through it. Because a lot of that was me making it harder for myself than it needed to be, aside from that finale, which was really stupid. And of course, the fact that I didn't finish it is why I'm not counting that as the hardest one I finished live. Because it just straight up doesn't qualify. Now, so I didn't finish Shinobi yet, either. And Shinobi was a real motherfucker. So... that might qualify as the hardest thing I've played live. But I think I was making that harder for myself than it needed to be, too. That ends up being the whole thing, is I don't think most of what I've played has ever really been that difficult. I just make it difficult for myself by not paying attention or doing things the hard way. Maybe because I don't know any better. And then I get too stubborn after not realizing to do it a better way. The rate we're leveling up does indicate to me that we might have fallen behind in level with how smoothly we've been pushing through things. Because I don't think they changed the experience curve in the game at all. Which makes it quite likely that we're a little underleveled at this point. Especially since we have level 45 as the highest masteries, for example. And we're only level 33. So unless we somehow gain 12 levels in this castle, we're not going to see the last masteries of the game. The amount of free-floating corruption creatures in here is also a sign, I think, of the issues we're having here. Now, for those who were not here at the beginning, I feel like I should do a little bit of a recap as we're going through this area, since it's looking like we're heading toward the end. So, we were part of the army of Zarga, and Zarga was at war with the other nation that guy we just dealt with was the general of. The name of that nation escapes me because I don't think it ever really was brought up in any serious capacity. We were going to a battle between those two, and we got stuck in a cave because one of the wizard generals, well, the great wizard of Zarga, basically, told us it would be better to go there instead of following the original plan. So we were hanging out there waiting for something to happen. We ended up stuck in a cave-in that canyon. And then lo and behold, these Valkyries show up and take us to Terragaia, which is where we are now. Now, they keep talking as if Terragaia is some kind of afterlife. But there's been a lot of things pointing to that not being true. Because not only have we ended up here with our living bodies, which that can get hand-waved by virtue of the fact that we got brought here by the Valkyries even though we were alive, and we chose to enter the portal to here of our own will. But then you've also got the Chroma, who traveled here in their module from another planet, which implies that this is a planet that exists in space somewhere, allowing normal travel to reach here. Now, if that's true, then that makes it highly unlikely to be any form of afterlife at all. Okay, that counts as a real door. And the holograms everywhere that are real but not real really don't help this world's case. At least in my opinion. Like, you can claim illusion magic all you want. But illusion magic usually is more believable than this. Of course, then there's also the excuse, well, you're a caster, you probably are seeing through the illusion. It's like, no, I don't think that flies either. I don't know. I don't know what is behind all of this as of yet. There's been this mysterious figure behind Leandris this whole time, giving her commands, which apparently had control of all the Valkyries. One of the Valkyries got corrupted by that same purple stuff we've seen running around. And it was claiming that it was freed by that, and it's following the purple corrupted plague stuff of its own free will now. But I don't know how much there is behind that either. What on earth? Hang on. Okay, that's glitching out. I'll deal with that later. Reboot my phone right quick. I got a notification that it didn't make sense, but apparently it's not going to open, so I'm not going to worry about it right now. That gets filed under, I will deal with that later when it's more relevant and useful to me. What was I talking about? Right, Plague. Because it's gone by many different names so far. It's been referred to as a plague, it's been referred to as a corruption. But I think I might have been calling it corruption just because it reminded me of the corruption from many other things. But either way, the plague apparently freed a Valkyrie from the control of whatever is behind Leandris, and said same thing as what sent Ratatosk to destroy the Tree of Life down below the Fire Temple. We have since stopped Ratatosk. There was a scientist down in the wells, down in Halfin Dam. He was causing earthquakes. He apparently went insane and was trying to kill everybody. Still not sure if he was being afflicted with that plague or if he just went nuts. Judging from the way he was talking, I'd say he just went nuts. But can never really guarantee that kind of thing. Okay, looks like we might be intended to go up there. Yep, there's a ladder. Oh right, we pulled those levers already, didn't we? That is a bombable wall, though. Once this guy fucking pisses off. You'll notice they become incorporeal periodically as well, which is what makes them such a bother to deal with. Now, this was not a useful bombable wall, but at least it replaced a potion, so I guess it's better than nothing. God damn it. We found these magic orbs that have given us specifically elemental powers. They haven't worked nearly as well for anybody else, which is a little bit of an oddity. Specifically, the fire orb from the spider lair, the sand orb from the pyramid, the lightning orb which we received from the Chroma in exchange for assisting them with reclaiming their flying module, the water orb we found down in Halfin Dam, and the wind orb we were given by Melian after they found it. I think they found it actually over by Halfin Dam as well, but we received it after the incidents in the Fire Temple. Which, when I rattle it off like that, this game sounds a lot shorter than it is. So I've missed something obvious somewhere again. Because we are at nothing but impasses. Which means there's a switch or a hidden wall or something somewhere that I need to pass through. Things are being weird. Just give me one moment. Either way, I think that brings you guys up to date of what we've gone through along the way here. And there's always been a corrupted man and a woman with a specific weapon that we've met halfway through each dungeon. We first met Dark Lance in the Spider Lair. And he was talking some really crazy stuff about what he went through. And then there was... let's see, it was Dark Lance, then Dark Axe in the Pyramid. We then encountered the Sisters of Dark Claw. No, the Sisters of Dark Claw were in the... No. I'm getting them crossed. Dark Claw was by himself, and he was in the Flying Module. Then the Dark Whip Sisters were in Half and Dam. There was... I forget what the guy in Fire Temple had. He was throwing a lot of shit around. I forget exactly what they called him. Because that fight was just a miserable bastard. But point being, the fact that there's been one of those in every area implies to me that more than one force has been working against us this whole time. But that may be what they intend us to think. And they may actually be on the same side this whole time. Not dealing with that right now. Suffice it to say, I could assume that those corrupted individuals, which we almost lost a few of our companions to the plague as well, because we had to fight, for example, our own General Burgard, who got corrupted by the plague, but was since released. Okay, this is the path. Potentially, yeah, because we use the pig bombs to get through here. Except we've got to put it there? So how do we go about that? It seems unlikely that the bomb would make it all the way around. But it's the only thing I've got to try, so I may as well just chuck it and hope. Nah, that might make it, actually. Yeah. I just need to get closer when I release that, and it should be okay. These go further than I think they do, ends up being the big issue with these. Okay, so that gains us access to this room, and that lets us move on. For example, these guys are agents of that same plague. Now, what I found interesting when we were going through the floating module is there was mention of creatures similar to this attacking the Chroma homeworld. And that they were hunting a large one of these when they arrived here on this world. The Chroma of that flying module being the last remaining members of their species after that incident, because they were away from home when it happened. They arrived in time for it to all be over. But basically, my point ends up being with that all lines up with the idea that this isn't really like any kind of special plane or anything. We're just on a planet. And calling it some other kind of dimension or calling it the afterlife or such may just be a way of reconciling the fact that you're on a whole nother world. And this whole plague may just be an alien parasite of some kind. Where it gets a bit weird in that logic is what happened with the Valkyrie. The fact that there's a single entity with complete control over all the Valkyries implies that there's yet another layer to this situation. Is the complete change in demeanor for that Valkyrie kind of indicates that that's not exactly a positive situation going on over there between the Valkyries and their leadership. Because that implies a level of total personality control that's probably not great for them. We might die here. These dragons are real rough to have together, since they would heal off of each other's weaknesses, or at least this one healed off the other one's weakness. We done now? Nope. More ankle biters. Because the thing is that the problem with that thought is they clearly don't have complete control, considering Leandris has been going of her own agency and helping us get through this whole situation. Because she's the one who gave us access to the Fire Temple, for example. Even though she was under strict orders not to do that, and to let Ratatosk destroy this planet to get rid of the problem. And the fact that they were so willing to destroy this planet also implies that this isn't the only place they are. Because if this was their only home, they wouldn't be that quick to destroy it either. And the way Ratatosk talked implied that he's done it before. Which means either this planet has been destroyed and rebuilt multiple times, or they've done this on multiple other worlds. Both of which have very wild implications with regard to this situation. But we just don't have enough information to really make any better judgment calls than that so far. Those are just the threads I'm grasping at as I've paid attention to what everyone's been talking about throughout this adventure. And then there's the fact that Jivan is referred to as Hafen's founder and has so many other names and titles, and seems to know a lot more than he's telling us about basically everything. It makes me wonder what his whole story is. And I'm betting we're never going to find out. Like, I would genuinely not be surprised if we never get a satisfactory answer to that situation. I really should update my equipment. I will lose the evasion, which is unfortunate. Let's get rid of both of those. Okay, I can have the evasion back. I put that on. And I'll also get bonus money, which doesn't really matter that much. And then we'll put on the volcanic pendant, which will give us more power as well. Yeah. That probably would have helped with that last fight if I had remembered to update my accessories before that fight. But it is what it is. Yeah, that's your catch-up for this game, and my remaining theories as to what the hell's going on with this situation. Which, I fully accept that my theories are probably out of nothing, and I'm losing my mind. But there's enough thread there that it's possible. I'm just quickly popping back to the save point, given how dangerous things have been. Make sure we don't lose all this walking we've done and all the switch finding. Considering how big the space we just went through is, I don't trust this game to give me another save point where I'm going to inevitably need it. Now, there's a lot of logic threading that could be made based on the fact that a lot of the naming and such around here has vague Norse mythology connections, but I'm not going to get into that because I don't know enough about that to make adequate conjecture. Like, I could talk about it, but there's high odds I would end up talking out of my ass about halfway through. Considering I once studied a lot of that, but it's been long enough that it's gonna get real muddy. And connecting it to any of this could easily be Bubkiss to begin with. Because it could literally just be they decided to name things based on that because the names are cool. So, that could be a whole thread that leads to nothing. So the fact that there are Valkyries involved and everything does lend a little bit of extra thread to that, but it's not worth chasing, I don't think. Or at the very least, I'm not going to. Huh. So you heal while frozen with this thing. Interesting, interesting. That would make me stronger. Or still. But which of these would I give up for that? Because I kind of like having the health information, considering how durable some of these enemies have been, but of the choices, I'd probably get rid of the Volcanic Pendant. We'll try that out for now, go with the increased power, since we are kind of falling behind on power, or it feels like now. Just a matter of now we won't have the information of, okay, is this near dead? Should I push to finish it off? Okay, I gotta go back around. And I'll admit, the main reason I'm keeping the Oculus necklace is that 12% evasion chance. Is when I had the 10% of the Feathered Tiara, it saved my life on numerous occasions. And god damn it, of course, right above my head was a fucking save point. I should have just went with it. But I trusted my instincts, which have usually been correct. As far as that goes, so I'll just take solace in the fact that I should still trust those. Okay, we got a big old bowl. You will not find your path within this flame. It does not belong to you. Face yourself and find the flame that will reveal your fate. Oh, are we gonna have a fucking clone fight? What? Okay, that opened all the doors. Oh no. There's two options for what this specific number of doors being opened by that means. One, we're either gonna have a series of clone fights where they're wielding the various orbs, which since there's 5 of them, that adds up. Or it's boss refights, because there were 5 major bosses. Captain Burke, Ratatosk, Subject S. Yeah, there's a mirror. Well, let's see what's in the mirror. The mirror reflects not the outside, but that which resides within. You adapt. You have that instinct, just as we do. Oh, it's gonna be a refight of the Dark fights. Interesting. Shadow Axe instead of Dark Axe. Okay. I, for some reason, was not expecting that. And of course it's fucking Axe that I fight first. Well, here, have your own axe back. Mother of God, he hurts. Now that I've forgotten how to fight him. No, I'm not gonna use the Valkyrie Feather. We're close enough to where that started that I'm not gonna waste the feather on the first refight. But let's not deal with him first. Now that we know where the Dark Axe fight is. Oh, never mind, we're here. I forgot. It checkpoints at boss fights. I always forget that. Oh, I'm significantly more powerful than I was when I fought Dark Axe. And while he deals more damage, he doesn't seem to be actually that much tougher. Which makes sense. They don't want to make him too strong, considering you have to fight a bunch of them. And honestly, I'd rather refight these guys than refight the main bosses. Because these guys were at least interesting fights, even if they were really brutal. And it seems like they're going to be just as brutal again because of the fact that they've amped their damage. And their health has certainly been amped up to match the damage I can do, but it at least feels balanced. Like, I don't feel like he's spongy. Which was the problem I had when I fought him the first time, is he took a beating to kill. Because we were still in the pyramid and we were way behind when we were in the pyramid. As you can see, even my regular attacks are chipping through him pretty well. As long as I play this reasonably smart, I win pretty handily here. He's just gonna get really dangerous when he starts seriously fighting. Of course, this isn't meant to be as serious a fight as he was the first time to begin with. There we go. It only took 3 tries, I think. Might be 4. Oh! I know why we're fighting these again. Because we picked up that dark thing that we just threw from the mirror. We picked that up each time we defeated those. So I think the fact that we were carrying that with us was a problem. As expected, really. And give me just 1 second, because I heard something I need to check on. Hey, I'm getting real tired of these days being so distracted. Anybody, it's what it is right now. But, point being, we're either cleansing them by doing this a second time, or we're claiming that power for ourselves. That is my best guess for what's going on here. Oh yeah, that's gonna be the big thing with not having access to their health bars anymore. We now no longer know what their weakness is. We'll have to guess a bit. With the dragons, it's fairly obvious because it's based on color. So it's not exactly subtle, but it can easily get slipped up here and there. We've got 4 potions left, so I think we'll be okay to fight the next shadow. Unless I get trapped in a room by a bunch of fucking angry dragons. That I really don't want to spend the resources fighting, but I might not have a choice because this game made their models big enough that they can block a fucking doorway. Or, you know, we just play ring around the dragon and run around this side. Can I get there from here? No. Let's fight the other ones then. To heck with those dragons. We'll deal with them later. Yeah, you're gonna ram me. I get it. Blah, 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 blah. Alright, which one are you? Not the outside, but which resides within. Did it really have to end like this? Oh, it's using the... I think it's actually using the lines that each of them died with. Oh, it's this fucking guy. Yeah, Shadow Razor. This is the one we had the most problems with. He was the Fire Temple guy. He was weak to wind, I think? No? Was it water, then? Oh, wait, no, he had no weaknesses, I think. I think that was actually the problem, is that he had no weaknesses. Which, in the end, he wasn't actually that bad a fight. We just had to figure him out. Which, actually was pretty accurate of most of these guys. And now that we're a lot stronger, he's gonna be a lot less of a problem. As is the way it goes with all of these. But I'm trying to push through him fast because he's a real issue. Because he's gonna do this shit, which is gonna be annoying. But that's Shadow Razor dealt with. Now that I know that their health bars aren't as long as they used to be, I can really just punch through them. I was very hesitant with Dark Axe because, well, both the memories of how bad that fight went and expectations for how strong he was going to be really caused issues. Meanwhile, the Dark Razor fight was fresh in my memory, so it was very easy to just pick that pattern back up. Yes, yes, you're a dragon. You're a dragon, I'm a dragon. Let's just call it fair there, yeah? He's gonna get me stuck up here, isn't he? All for a map I probably won't need. I guess it depends on how big this place ends up actually being. Because if we're getting into refights already, I would suspect that we're already, like, in the final section. But it depends on how much they put the player through before doling out the final little fight. Because for all I know, they could make me refight the Shadows and then make me refight something else, too. Because there's still a chance we could have to refight all of that horror garbage that is the main bosses again. Like the Sphinx and the Spider Lady and all that. God, that'd be a chore. I'm just heading up to this save point to, one, get my equipment back, and two, save the fact that we've at least beaten two of them in case of a crash. Well, it doesn't look stormy right now. It's summer. Storms can happen at any time. Actually, yeah, I should teleport over to the other save point. It'll be a faster way to get to the other fights that are down there. And then there's the fact that the Valkyries carry us around like that. That one's weird in and of itself. Because it begs the question, if all of this stuff is working against us, then why are those Valkyries helping me get around? Not the outside, but that which resides within. If you hadn't been so meddling, I wasn't going to let you go alone. This is gonna be the whips. I remember this. Now, one's fire, and one is electric. Yeah, one's weak to water, as you'd expect, and the other one... I didn't expect the wheel to stop there. I thought it was going to move further. Or so I was going to land next to the one and drop the mortar. This was the fight where we learned how good the mortar was. Because since one of them is weak to sand, it really did a number on her. Okay, they're already taking me more seriously than they did the first time. All in all, this fight ended up being shockingly easy, but I suspect, as implied by what I just said, that they weren't taking me particularly seriously. Alright, calm down with the circus act, ladies. Really, we're gonna just do this again? Okay, back to my corner. Okay, you can throw into that corner. Got it. But the way their shots bounce off each other, doesn't seem like they'll naturally end up in there much, but I gotta watch out for when they start it. Okay, one disposed of, but she just walks into spikes and kills herself. And last time she didn't get a power boost when her sister was defeated, so we'll see how this works out this time. It doesn't look like she's behaving any differently. Which, since none of the other fights changed, I didn't expect this one to. And there we go, Shadow Whip's defeated. You know, it would somehow end up being very fitting if I ended up fighting Dark Lance last. And I don't know which one is Dark Lance. I know that one's Dark Axe, since we went to fight him and lost. Actually, no. Did I turn around and defeat him? Yeah, no, we were stuck in there, so I went ahead and dealt with that. And I think. You'll notice that winning these fights is still costly. Actually, do I have enough to buy an upgrade? I know this is gonna break the flow, but I feel like we may want to have a smoke 'em if you got 'em situation here and actually restock. I don't really care about the Cobalt Hammer. Let's finish upgrading the Sand Mortar since it's going to be useful here. And the Acolyte Fire since it actually did reasonably well for us in the other fight. Basically, we're drowning in money, so let's just max out the everything. Except Flash Bombs, I refuse to use those. There we go. Everything's maxed out except the Flash Bombs. So, to hell with it. We'll go ahead and max those out just to have all of these done. Considering nothing popped up saying I upgraded everything, I'm going to assume there's other ones we didn't get. Which, since there was a couple that dropped off of enemies, there's probably a couple we didn't get. You got anything else for me? He does have these 70% healing fruits I can buy directly from him. Shard pouch, why not? Any crazy items down at the bottom here now? Stamina regen, reflect damage. No, he doesn't have anything new. If we don't have enough to upgrade anything that I actually want to upgrade, gear-wise, we'll go ahead and buy more of those 70% heal fruits. Okay, we can upgrade our weapon again, which will get us to the Archmage Scepter. So we're absolutely doing that, and honestly, increasing my stamina is useless to me because I don't actually guard. If I guarded, then upgrading the talisman would be useful. But we have the best weapon now. It just hasn't been fully upgraded. Now let's get rid of our excess items and see if we can afford more of those healing items. Because I have every intention of going in fully loaded for bear here. There we go. And that should leave me with enough money to buy restocks as much as I need. Because by the time I need a restock, I should have killed enough things to get that money back. So I have every intention of taking this place seriously. Especially now that it's shown its teeth by throwing shadow refights at us. I'm a bit worried what it's gonna do next. How do I get... There we go. Was this the ledge that was over here? Yeah, okay. So which shadow is hanging out over here? This might be Lance. Mirror reflects not the outside, but that which resides within. Was it you or me? I forget which one said that. Okay, it was Claw. Claw was pretty easy from what I remember. But that might turn around this time. There's a big part of his mechanic related to that robot that's sitting over there stunned because I beat the shit out of it straight away. Like, he's got some really nasty ground-clearing attacks. He just doesn't have a lot of health. And he doesn't have that many angles that actually interact with the floors that he provides to you to get away from him. So of all the fights, he's honestly, I would say, the easiest because he literally gives you the option to avoid being attacked by him at all. Which is really a questionable choice on his part. By beating him, we can go around over here, it looks like, and open this door down there. Which I'm not really sure what the point to it is, but we may as well do it just for sake of doing it. We might find something interesting along the way. Which, I saw a couple small chests, but I'm not that interested in those. Because they're probably just going to be more potions that I'm already stocked up on. And considering we got paid 3,000 for beating Dark Claw, not really too fussed about money. I would assume that's meant to just be a shortcut of sorts, but really, I don't know, there was a red chest I didn't see because I was a little focused on the dragon that was approaching me. Which, these are really nice designs. Okay. I don't know what happened there. We ascended. For the short time that we were leveling up, we ascended. And I don't know how to feel about it. It was a very strange experience. Yeah, we didn't even use a health potion against Dark Claw. So we've got 3 left. I remember Dark Lance. I told you guys about Dark Whip and Dark Claw. There must be fights I'm blanking on. There was Dark Axe, Dark Claw, Dark Lance, Dark Whip, Dark Razor. Those might be other fights. Because I counted 5. And 5 is what I remember. Getting around here is more dangerous than dealing with the refights, though, I gotta tell you. You take a wrong turn, you could easily get trapped in a fucking death sandwich. Unless they're planning on having me fight the Possessed Brigard again. Because that would account for a missing slot. Why is this one still marked? Oh, well that explains a lot of why my count's not working out. It's the fact that 2 of these are still marked with exclamation points even though they're done already. I was suspicious when I saw that the room was explored already, but I figured maybe I looked at it and turned around. God damn it, game. Making me look a fool, while also looking a fool yourself. So this should be the last one, which means this is Dark Lance, and we're doing Dark Lance last. Not intentional. I didn't know which ones these were. So even though I called it out, it happened. Yeah, that's definitely the line he used. Revenge for all the trouble you caused me. You who have the same main attack as Dark Axe. Or rather, Dark Axe has the same main attack you do. Of course, he's been rebalanced since we fought him last, too, and we are significantly more powerful than we were. That's not to say he's not still a threat. Because he clearly still hurts a lot. He's still just as much of a problem to hit with any consistency. Because that's basically what makes a dark fight easy or difficult for me, is how much I can sit there and clock damage on an enemy. Is the faster a fight's over, the less likely I am to make a mistake. Alright, we've dealt with every shadow now, I think. And that cup is very full. Chalice of Fate. Yeah, provided they don't send us back to do something at any point, I think we'll actually be out of here before long. Ooh, another shard pouch. Even more ammo. Interesting. But it's amazing what just a bit more power will do for a fight. Like, in most of these cases, just having the extra abilities has made a big difference. Not even so much that we do more damage or anything like that. Like, for example, against Dark Lance. The fact that we have double jump made that fight significantly easier. At least for me. Your flame is as clear as your determination. Go forth, adventurer. I assume we just needed to get rid of that darkness we were carrying before it would allow us through. Yeah, main quest, The Last Path. We might be done with this a lot sooner than I thought. Which might be a slight issue. I don't know if I'll do a short session if it ends up being very quick, or if I'll start something else. Like just a simple fuck around game or something. I don't know. It'll depend on how I feel after the final boss. Because this final bit could be a fucking nightmare and take like 3 hours on its own for all I know. I was gonna jump down there and go get that chest, but with how that gap looks, I don't care enough to deal with it. I probably don't need it. Oh, it's gonna be another dark fight. Dark Sword. The dragon ahead. It will soon be reborn, and I will be the one to end it once more. That power drew you here too. Admit it. Now, do you understand why we have no other choice but to hoard power? Otherwise, how would you have gotten this far? Wait. Zarga? I remember things. It's disturbing. I wanted to stop. Is Dark Sword Brigard? Did he get infected while we were gone? But no, since he said he destroyed the dragon before, that implies he's been here for a while. But I think they did say somebody went missing at some point. Ah! Cheeky. I see how it is. You think you're clever. Unfortunately for you, I have no intention of fighting fair. No, the way he moves definitely reminds me of the Brigard fight. And then again, that might be a she under that armor. We have no way of knowing that, really. Oh, God. Gain health, lose health, gain health, lose health. This guy hits really damn hard, I'll give him that. Uh-oh. Okay, doing the clone thing again. As long as you stay moving, you seem to be fine against this attack. Just gotta watch out for the fact that the swords stay. got it. Killing. Through it, we came into this world and carved our path. There's something here that seems to reward those like us. You've noticed it too, haven't you? The power that's been with you ever since you set foot here belongs to all of us. I couldn't wish for a greater destiny than becoming part of it. See you soon, Soldier of Zarga. So this is gonna be our final skill. Absorbing that power he's talking about. Supernova. R2 and square and a supernova will begin charging around you. Once it reaches its peak, hit it again, and it will cause it to do much more damage. Dark Soldier. Let's go ahead and save the fact that that happened and get a restock on supplies. Saw a notification. Wanted to double check. Considering just how much damage Dark Sword did, though, I have great fears as to how much damage we'll take from the rest of this. But the way they were talking implies a cycle of death and rebirth that's been going on for a while. Maybe that whatever is at the top of this castle has died many a time, or at the very least has been, like, sealed away multiple times, only to be born again, and they have to keep stopping it to prevent destruction or something along those lines. Which that begs the question whether it's the Guardian, or if those who stop it are the Guardian. That's a big egg. That's a real big egg, and I don't like those spears that are on either side. But, here we go. We're at the top of Dragon Castle. This must be the dragon. Well, you're less impressive than I expected. And we're just getting straight into it. Aganox. So what's your weakness, Aganox? Wind. Got it. Man alive, your shots hurt. Ow. Healing takes too long. Yeep. Yeah, I knew I was being greedy by placing that next to him. But I wanted to try it. Nah, we won't use the feather. We didn't get very far in that round. We had to learn. Okay. It makes sense, though, that multiple things here at the end would be weak to wind, considering wind's the last thing we get. So you'd think they'd want to give the other elements more of a chance. Also, I just botched that hard because I was just hopping and shooting and hoping it worked out. Because the problem is, to be in range to throw on my basic attack, I have to be in range to be in a pretty dangerous position relative to where he originates his fireballs. Thankfully, we can heal when he jumps pretty safely. It's good to know that Aganox also has a bite that we need to watch out for. an interesting thing I just realized. We didn't get a wind-based sub-weapon, did we? We've got an ice one, we've got a fire one. We actually have a couple fire ones. We've got an ice one, we've got a lightning one. We've got plenty of regular damage ones, but we don't have a wind one, I don't think. We probably missed it somewhere. Nope, I jumped too early on that. And then I healed the wrong time. Because I thought I could get away with it, which was a terrible choice on my part. Why does my display look like it's the wrong size now? Am I streaming at the wrong size now? No, that looks okay on the stream. Just my preview's a weird size for some reason. I am now confused. Whatever, it probably doesn't matter. It's just fucking with my head because it did it again. It was fine when I was looking at it a second ago, and then it suddenly shrank, and it confused the shit out of me. But I don't actually look at my preview for the preview. I have it over there so I can see what you guys are saying. So I'm not gonna worry about it right now. It is really weird, though, that it happened during Outward, and now it's happened during this, too. I don't remember if it happened yesterday. I don't think it happened yesterday. But I also was very distracted, more so, well, yesterday than even today. So it's possible I missed it. What is he doing now? Oh, I hate this. I hate this already, considering he leaves damaged spaces. What the fuck is that? Fucking seriously? I don't like this. What the hell? Okay, we're halfway through the fight, so I'll use the feather this time. And this goes to show how often I shield. Every time I've bothered to shield and it's been broken like that, we've died. So, that's a thing. Oh, what the fuck? What the hell are you supposed to do with that? Just keeps on fucking going. He started to tilt up, but I don't know if that's because of where I was, or if there's just a mechanic to that that I didn't get a chance to figure out. Here's the thing, we can clock damage really fast on Aganox, but it's dangerous just to clock damage that at pace. Yeah, the book doesn't do a lot of damage. That's what I was afraid of. But I figured I'd try it. Better to really dunk on him when he lands. Oh wow, okay. That worked out in my favor. Did you... what the hell? Okay, that was a different attack. Ow. Paid for my greed. Really paid for my greed. Not feathering that one. I'm only gonna feather if we're halfway through the health bar, because if we're not halfway, I don't think we have the resources to push through. I've really gotta stop fucking doing that. Now here's the thing though, we are taking extra damage from Aganox when we're in wind form, I'm noticing. So there might be a form where we get decent damage but not... Yeah, as expected, fire heals them. So you'd think water would do extra damage, but it doesn't. And water only takes regular damage. God damn it! I really wish it didn't take so fucking long to cycle through those potions. And I know, I could open the menu and go to it that way, but that throws off the timing just as bad. It's not any better. Because regular magic does, like, nothing. Okay, I have an idea. And of course they immediately fucking bailed out as soon as I did that. But that might be a clever plan, actually. And we are taking 11 less damage in this form, but we are doing 6 less to them, so it's not great. But yeah, that's the plan, is drop spikes where they're gonna land. Because the water spikes have been so useful. Like, they are by far probably the best spell for boss fights so far. And that's just because they're set and forget under the boss's feet, pretty much. I couldn't read where that was gonna land. Yep, at 50-50. No matter or how that went, we were going to be able to get free shots in. Okay, now they should land on this side. Yep, they're immediately out. Like, nah, fuck you. That seems like the play, is just to use all of our cheap shot damage to give ourselves more of a fighting chance here. I see what the play here is. They try to hem you in between two fireballs, so that you have to manage your speed. Okay, they're doing the fireball rain. Nope, I overjumped. I shouldn't have wall jumped. I should have just hit the wall and dropped. You are way too big to frolic like that, buddy. Okay, got hat. Oh, they're doing a double shot, huh? Okay. Fucking hell. Laser times. Okay, so clipping inside them is the answer to that. I don't know if this is an intended answer to that, but you know what? With a move like that, I'll take being cheap. I don't care. We're just gonna power through. I don't care. Die. Okay, so we've put the dragon back in the egg. All in all, the Aganox fight was not that bad. The damage it dealt was a little scary, but other than that, it wasn't that bad. That's another level for us. No turning back. That sounds right. Oh, I'd love to have that. But I'm one Mastery Relic short, and we're probably not getting another one. Because that is really singing the death knells of this is the end of the game. Which is why we're going to save the fact that we've defeated Aganox, and if we end up in a really bad situation, we're probably going to roll out of the fight, and I'll see about grinding a bit to get stronger. But it really depends on just how bad this fight is. The amount of damage Aganox did has me worried that this fight's gonna be even nastier about damage. And more to the point, even nastier about how much health it's gonna have. Oh! This is a point of no return. If you still have something to do on Terra Gaia, now is the time. Oh boy! So that's a pretty hefty warning. We do have the save before going in here. So technically we're fine either way. But that does tell me that we're not going to be able to go back and do the side quests if I go through this portal. And there's a lot of side quests we didn't do. Question becomes, how much do I care? Show me on the map where the mine is. Okay, it is in the Tempest Plains. Don't know where, though. Tell you what, since I wanted to do the Edel side quest when we picked it up and then I forgot about it, and I did buy the key, we're gonna pop out right quick, do that side quest, and we'll see how I feel. Go from there. Mostly because I'm just really damn curious about this whole Tempest Mine situation. The big question is going to be, where the hell is that mine? And I know, this is a big cliffhanger to be right in front of a no-return portal and then wander off to go do something. But, as we all know, it's gonna get done. And it's gonna get done today. It's not gonna get done right this second. I'm kind of doing a meet in the middle as far as side questing and not side questing goes. I'm gonna do a couple of the side quests just to clean up some of it. And that's only if I can find the mine reasonably quickly. If I can't find it reasonably, I'm not gonna bother looking all over the place for it. But we at least know what map it's on, specifically that it's on this map. Hey, have you not seen a mine? You guys still say the same crap you've always said. The game specifically says that it's in Tempest Plains. Marks it right there. And it calls it the Tempest Mine. So it's gotta be here somewhere. But where the fuck is it? Which, honestly, I still have that map thing that Evo linked me. I'm just going to pull up the map and save us time. So I could search all day for it and still potentially not find it. Also, defeating all of the Dark Warriors and defeating Aganox are both 5% achievements on Steam, just for people's reference. The number is steadily going down. Because Ratatosk was a 7%. Galath, the second time, was a 6%. Since that's in front of me while I'm scrolling looking for the map thing. Because I know I bookmarked it, I just don't remember where I put it. So it's kind of buried in my bookmark somewhere. There we go. Okay. So I was on the right track with where I warped to. I had suspicions about that spot. It's underneath here. Just not really sure why I didn't gain access to it. It's in a hidden area underneath that section. Because both these weird cutouts always, you know, looked a little strange. Turns out, this wasn't something I needed to blast open or anything, it literally was just open. And that's where the misunderstanding I had was. I thought I had to hit it with something because it looked closed. Turns out you literally just walk through it. There's another red chest over here. Dang it, I was hoping for a Lacrima fragment. Lost my controller for a second there. Because I bumped it. This opens the Tempest Mines, which is technically another area, I think. Yeah, it's actually another area. Oh boy, those Kobold Miners actually hit really fucking hard. So I guess it's a good thing I waited till now to come here, because, whoo, boy. Assuming you have the same vulnerability, yep, you have the same vulnerability your brethren do. But just look at how much damage these guys take. We might actually get that last mastery point after all. They take a beating. This will presumably break these platforms. Straight on through to the other side. Okay. No, it's not bombable. Okay. Guess I just gotta go around. Hopefully I didn't do this in the wrong order and make it more complicated for myself. Knowing full well that I'm quite prone to doing... Right! They can climb ladders. God damn it. Ugh. This might be more of a problem than I expected it to be. I just figured, oh, you know, I'll just hop on over to the Tempest Mines, go get her a nice fancy sword, and then we'd have a happy ending at the end of the game. No. Now things are just awful and painful and full of kobolds again. This is highly likely to get us that last level we need for the boost of damage. So that will at least be a good thing. Because if the fact that this little side area is such a nightmare is any indication, we might not be ready for the finale. Assuming there's even more of a finale than just, oh hey, you go up and fight the Guardian now. rats are the worst in this game. Oh hey, conveniently that happened to be the one I drank. Oh, I need the block that was up and left from here. Okay. Which explains why we need to clear this room of all the BS that's running around in here. Wait for poison to go away. The rats are more dangerous in terms of poison than the goddamn poison swamp was. There's something very wrong with that concept. Okay. We appear to be at an impasse. Oh, I think I see. Do I see? Or am I blind? I may still be blind. Because it almost looked like there was a small path there. But it may be that it's a small path for a bomb. Yeah, okay, I see. I do see. I just did not see what I thought I saw. I was thinking it was a slime path, but it's actually a pig bomb path. You keep this open enough for the pig bomb to get through to then hit the button to let you in. Sword for Edel. You got Lost Sword. An abandoned sword. It looks like it's been left untouched for years. Does look just her size. Okay. Oh, joy. Okay. So far not bad, because it's just the same crap we were fighting along our way in here. Worst thing being the rats. God, how many rats are there? When I say rats, I don't mean rats with wings either. Get out of here. Oh, for God's sake. No. Enough of that. Enough of this, too. For God's sake. How many of you bastards do I need to kill before you realize this isn't working? Oh, hey, look, you sent in one of the other kind right at the end there. I guess maybe that means that the red ones are stronger than the miners? Miners really seemed like they were more dangerous. Maybe I'm crazy, though. Oh. That takes us up out here. Okay. So that was a quick diversion. Let's go deliver that. See if that actually leads to anything. Because that was one of the quests that it felt like there might actually be, like, a line attached to. What the fuck happened there? I think the port on both these PS4 controllers is going at this point, because this is a new core wire that I dug out. So I know the wire is not the issue. So if The wire ends up tipping just a bit. It seems like a disconnect, which might also be why I've had a few odd control issues in this game. It may have tipped just enough to not disconnect completely, but tip a bit. God damn, she had a lot of money. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so that's as far as her line of thought goes. Okay. I honestly figured once she had her sword, she was gonna run off and do something. And then that was gonna turn into a whole quest line. Turns out not as much. That also didn't get us the level I was hoping we were gonna get. And so that we could get that power boost. I just need the one Mastery Relic for Arcane Power. Which really does seem like something we're gonna want. I can upgrade my protection, which may not be a bad idea with the way the dragon was raining shit on us. Don't quite have enough Rockyrite to go to the next talisman. I could go through and do a final cleanup. Yeah, I did say once we get some more movement, I would race Uter again, so we'll go ahead and actually race him. See if this leads to anything useful. Because he did say he was going to give us his spawn lances for this. And I have no idea if those are any good. Oh, and you're going to use flying mode, huh? Okay. I see how it is. Definitely makes me glad I went and waited till we had full mobility. He's gonna rubber band off of that, isn't he? Oh, fuck me. He was waiting for me to get stuck is what that was. So unless he stops somewhere again, we might be hooked on this. Especially since I need to climb and he doesn't. What is with the frame dropping suddenly, too? I'm assuming it's relating to my controller being weird. Yeah, he's staying steadily ahead of us now. So unless he runs into something he needs to stop for, we're probably SOL. Especially since shit's just arbitrarily blocked off for this race to give him an advantage. Because that was not blocked off for the last race. Cheating bastard. Yeah, I'm gonna need to check the connection on the controller when this race is over. I think we can win that, though, if I don't get stuck on either of those turns. And getting off to a better start will help. I should have remembered the lesson from the first race, where the high road was the way to go the whole way. Now he's going to stop there for a moment, and we're going to gain a lead on him. He's going to cut forward. But we'll actually be able to keep him in sight this time. Of course, the ledge grabbing not taking there would definitely be an issue. Fucking game! This is why I hate time limits in games like this, because sometimes mechanics just don't fucking work in your favor. And you end up having to waste a lot of time fighting the mechanics in order to get them to do what you want. My finger's now slipping off the stick, because of fucking course it is. Okay, if this race is another loss, I'm just gonna let it be at that point. This is gonna be a pain in the ass, and I don't feel like dealing with it. And this is really looking like it's gonna be another loss. So I have no means of gaining that ground. So unless he stops for some unknown reason, we're basically SOL. Yeah. I think that's designed to be in his favor, which makes sense. We're not gonna waste more time on this. I'm gonna quickly unplug and replug the controller entirely, though. Get that to play ball. See if that gives it a better seating. Because we did have that weird chugging during the race. And that's usually what's been the issue for that kind of thing, is repeated controller connection disconnection without it actually registering it. At least on this system, that's been the issue. Okay, we don't have much to restock. Actually, how much money are we sitting on? I know we just came from halving, but let me pop back there and buy a couple more of those 70% heals. I feel like I'm gonna need them. Because given the way the Agonox fight went, I have strong concerns that we are going to need a lot of healing to win this fight. Because it would be either we get a lot of healing done in order to win the fight, or we get a lot stronger before we go fight it. Which I am tempted to go get that last little bit of experience. So I might just run around the Dragon Castle for a few minutes to get that last level. So I'm assuming it's not going to take much to get that level. Not at the pace we've been leveling. Let's just quickly kill a few dragons. Or whatever the hell I find, really. Of course, this is when everything's gonna fucking despawned out of here. No, there's still stuff in here. That got us, I think, like 200. Which is not as much as I would like, but, you know. Yeah, those are worth, like, nothing. This might be worth a decent bit. Since it is, to our current experience, the highest tier of Plague Creature. Yeah, that's worth a little over 100. Just 3 more dragons, basically, and we'll be at our next level so we can get Arcane Power and All that good stuff. I have no idea if a corrupted creature will be worth more. Does not look like it. Aside from the fact that it is a guaranteed extra opponent. So it looks like we'll only have to kill one more actual dragon, perhaps. There's the level. I doubt the 2 more mana will make a difference, but I'm pretty sure Arcane Power will make a difference, considering I rely pretty heavily at this point on Spellweaver spells, and Staff Burst does compose a large portion of my damage. So we're as strong as we can get without serious grinding. And basically, if this fight proves to be a serious wall, we'll just go back and clean up the rest of the side quests and such, get a bit stronger. See if we can find one more Lacrima fragment to get that health extension. And then we should be able to win the fight. But I think we'll be able to do it as is. I believe in my ability at this game at this point. I might be proven wrong. But I think it's doable to finish this game in my current state. Here we go. Past the point of no return. This is how it all ends. Heaven Tower. It's raining purple. Is this all you've got? A handful of parasites to try to stop me? I don't even have to really make an effort to defeat these. But I can't help but notice that the rain is getting thicker. That is a concern. Might start raining bigger things or just a lot more of them. I do find it kind of funny that I've piled most of the corpses just all on the right side there. As they pass over my head and then perish. Oh, look at the one. He managed to hit me. Good for him. Yep, there we go. Now they're coming in thick and fast. Hey, Uter. That was a bit reckless. If you don't hold on to me tight, you could fall off. Heh. I think I'd rather take the risk. You were the one that insisted I bring you here. Greetings, by the way, my little friend. Looks like this soldier here was worried about you. I was not. Okay, perhaps I was a little worried. After all, he was the only one around here doing something to change things. I'll take that as, oh, thank you, most handsome and dashing Captain Uter, for your show of bravery. What are you still doing here? You clearly haven't kept up. We're gonna take care of these bugs. Get going. Hey! Welcome to the finale, probably. Go on, my little friend. Don't waste any more time. You were about to do something important, remember? Yeah, you guys can handle this. Don't get corrupted. I don't want to have to fight both of you. Ready for one last dance, milady? Not even if we get out of this one. What a girl. Don't worry, we'll see him again. You are holding that lance wrong, and I expect you to die. No, there's still a final boss to deal with, at minimum. But it looks like I've got another arena fight to get through first. You missed me having to refight all the Dark Ark soldiers that we dealt with along the way. Which was not nearly as bad as the first time around for any of them, as would really be expected. since most of those fights were just I was ill-equipped to deal with them. We did go up a huge castle full of dragons, defeated a dragon that has apparently been being reborn multiple times over this world's existence. We went ahead and put it back in its egg. And that basically catches you up on what you missed. We did go down in the mine and get that kit and the sword, just because I felt I needed to take a sidestep. Oh, now you two show up too. There you are. Careful, Milan, we're surrounded. My heart's beating at 1,000 times a minute. We're getting so close to getting it, friend. Focus and don't take your eyes off them. Get out of here, soldier. We'll take care of this. Don't worry, I can still use a bit of magic thanks to my sister. Absolutely. I wonder who's best at it. Go on, don't loiter anymore. We'll be with you in a blink of an eye. See you further ahead, friend. I'm guessing we're gonna have a couple more scenes like this as we run out of characters, and then we'll get to the finale. You think we'll make it? Melian, the two of us against the world, remember? You're right, enough moaning. Get ready, here they come. The thing is, we've met a lot of people along the way here. Oh yeah, I'm expecting to either have to fight corrupted versions of all of them, or they'll all be dead. Or at the very least, the majority of them will die. Because let's be real, most of them have done absolutely nothing along the way here, aside from do small side things for me. None of them are powerful characters. The odds of them surviving are not great. But they've got to fit in a whole power of friendship scene and all that at somewhere. Then again, most of this these things are just plebs anyway, so plebs versus plebs is fair. But just to set the tone, I'm anticipating at least one more character death. That just seems like the way they want to write this game. Yep, here's you two. As expected. Lad! General, we found him! Soldier, it was reckless of you to come here alone. Although, without your recklessness, we wouldn't have gotten this so far. General, you heard. Carry on while we deal with these blasted creatures. Onward, soldier. Finish what you started. That's an order. We'll see you further up. Well done, lad. Yeah, we're not gonna see either of you again. General Brigard, that soldier. I know, Adamant. He's special. We owe it to him to reach the end. We can't let him down. That won't be a problem. We ate bugs like these for breakfast. Is that how you got so big? 'Cause that would make sense. Knew he was a mutant all along. Well, we didn't get interrupted this time. Well, everybody else was busy with the last few sets, and I killed everything else along the way here, so they had a clear path. I'm more curious how they managed to jump so high to get onto that platform the way they did. Ah, the crystals we picked up along the way. Somewhere within the confines of the universe. Drayden, I know he told us not to worry, that he'd be back with word of his findings, but I'm concerned. I knew we shouldn't have let him go down there and explore that planet by himself. Bygone can be so stuck. Bygone the Guardian. Enough, we're going down there, whether he likes it or not. As concern mounted among his peers, Bygone lay unconscious on the surface below. so I was right. Right about some of this, at least. That in the end, these were mostly just aliens. No gods, no other dimensions, no afterlife, just goddamn other planets and aliens. And we didn't get all the crystals, so we're not going to get all the information there. Which, that can be left for those who wish to deal with this on their own. Yeah, and of course you're going to show up here at the end. Soldier, you've reached the end of your journey. We're at the gates of Bygone, the Guardian. Exactly. Millennia ago, the souls of the fallen journeyed directly to the land of the gods. Now that destiny is reserved only for the most tenacious of champions. Like you and your kind. You must know something. I have reason to believe that the menacing dark plague that you had to face on a number of occasions could have originated within that room. I cannot be sure until you open it, but do not fear. I'll be looking out for you once you step inside. If something goes wrong, I will intervene. Go forth, brave warrior, and face the last of all destinies. Oh. She has imbued us with something. I don't know what, but... we are now, I guess, stronger? Question mark? Either that or it might be like an extra life or something she's given us. Similar to the Valkyrie feathers. Okay, there's Bygone himself, just chilling. You should not have closed that door. It doesn't matter. The fact that you are here means it was worked. You shall be the first of a tide of souls yearning to find this place, hoping to complete their great quest. Do not fear, for salvation is at hand. Soldier, that is not the Guardian. Bygone has allowed thousands of warriors to pass into the god's Ragnarok. You would never have said anything like that. Yeah, we didn't close the door. It kind of closed on its own. Gods, you say? Those Fae. I will admit I did not expect to find one here, but this changes nothing. Who are you to dare corrupt the established flow of souls? Speak. Silence! Yep, she got obliterated. So much for her intervening. Valkyries. Useless carcasses with neither soul nor sense. Though your words ring true, I am not Bygone, but with me a destiny much grander than you have been prepared for awaits you. Because of me, my species, and all those in the cosmos, will transcend beyond their mortal lives. They will live for eternity, without worrying about bodily decay, Yggdrasil, or those selfish Fae. It was a trick of the Fae all along. Yep, he's been inflicted with the plague, and/or he is the cause of the plague, one of the two. Do not resist. Once I have assimilated you, you will be saved. Yep, gotta break each color crystal with the corresponding orb. Okay, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. If he's gonna do that again. Oh, wrong color. That's sand. Now cursed. How do I actually damage him? Because now that his barrier's down, I don't know which effect to hit him with. Wind's doing nothing. Lightning's not even hitting him. Neither is that. He's currently immune, I guess. Oh. Oh shit. I ended up skipping something. It would be such a waste if your essence was lost to the void. Oh, give me that. I need those. Come on now. I'm guessing this was an unavoidable attack. What is that? You still haven't realized? Surely you don't think it was just those orbs that got you here? You're nothing special, but somehow you managed to become strong enough to defeat us. Our energy finding a new home within you. We don't plan to let you die by an insect like that after everything you've done to us. We're all you have left now, whether you like it or not. Do it. Unleash our power and no one will be able to stop you. Do not disappoint us, soldier. Oh, now we've got a new form. Now we are just as dark. Now I see why my parasites were unable to intercept you before. You have turned your own body into an orb capable of retaining all of that corrupt energy inside you. Powerful, but insignificant to me. Still, you harbor too much essence for me to let you go with them. Understand that I cannot allow this. Go ahead, use all those trinkets. See how well it works out for you. Now he's just gonna chase me around with his orb of power, huh? Okay. Oop, eep, up, oop, oop. Nope, not hitting me with any of that shit. Okay, he's in sand mode again. Sending forth his grabby hands. Ack! Ack! Oh god, that hurts. I am not a fan of that. Could you kindly not do that again? Okay, now he's in wind mode. Huh. Okay. Ack! Fucking tornadoes. You've turned against me. I mean, if you're just gonna hang out up there, I'm just gonna pelt you to death. I don't care. You think I'm impressed with your little old parlor tricks? Your stolen power? I stole it first, fair and square. Shit, now that he's in sand form, the sand mortar's healing him. Need to switch off of that. That's gonna be a bad call. Actually, yeah, these things. The little flying rubits. He appears to be immune while he's doing that. That's upsetting. This form is annoying, mostly because I can't do a damn thing to him while he's doing that. But he does leave me long periods of time where he's just kind of standing around like an idiot, so I guess it works out. Ow. Oh, we're doing this shit again. Okay. Hey up. Hey up. Missed the supernova. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Yeah, he's the origin point of the... Wow, that hurt a lot more suddenly. But joke's on you. I've got one more trick up my sleeve. You won't find me that easy to kill. Yep, one ball of pain slowly pursuing me. Oh no. Now that I realize I can't hurt him when he's doing this, I can run away from him a lot more effectively. You think I'm impressed by a little show of fireballs? gonna have to really step up your game, buddy, before you can stop. What the fuck? When I said step up your game, I didn't mean somehow bounce me into the middle of your attack, even though I should have bounced into the open space. See, I'm actually annoyed about that, because that was an unreasonable bounce. I get that I botched the jump and got hit by that. I fully accept that. Okay, we blew through first phase immediately, and we're just gonna accept this and get to see what that first line was now. You did good work on finding those orbs. It is fortunate that, even while using their power, they remain in their vessels. I'll be able to extract them without destroying you. It'd be a waste if your essence was lost to the void. Now we got to hear the whole line. And now that I understand how he fights, I think I've got this. I don't think this is that hard to fight. Which has me really worried if this is actually the end. I feel like there's gonna be another step to this. Like some consequences to us turning into this dark form. And of course there's the simple fact that this isn't Bygone. So we're gonna have that to unpack too. Drift a little higher. Under him. I disagree with that hitting me. I also disagree with not landing on that platform, even though I was above it. Now you're gonna start spewing fire everywhere. Which is my cue to just counterpelt. Ah, that one caught me in the air. Fuck me. Yeah. I'm annoyed because that covers so much of the screen and you can't see shit. So you can't tell where you are if it does end up hitting you and knocking you into an awkward spot. That's not so much a strong attack as just kind of stupid. Do I accept that I made a mistake by letting myself get hit by it? Yes. Do I accept the way I got hit by it? No. God damn it. Oh, come on now. Arrgh! This fight's gonna be annoying just because he can literally kill you in one go. If you get caught just in the wrong spot at the wrong time with one attack, he just destroys you instantly. And that's really not great design. So that's gonna be an upsetting situation throughout this whole fight. So it's really gonna be pattern dependent, I think, how this fight ends up actually playing out. Is literally it boils down to, will he hit you with a whole combo that will instant kill you? No, then you win. If you don't get lucky and he hits you with a full health bar combo, well, you better not get hit by it twice, otherwise you won't have a feather left. Because you can only carry one feather. Like, this right here is basically his most dangerous form. Sand is his most powerful option. Because those hands catch you very easily, and his giant AoEs are, you know, giant AoEs that hit, like, half the fucking screen, if not more than that. Of course, this form is a problem if you somehow get trapped by it. Which I disagree with how that happened, because I feel like he slowed down at some point, which he didn't do last time. But I may have also just gotten distracted trying to set up other things. The thing is, you gotta bait the hands into jumping, and then they destroy themselves. There was something I was thinking about. Right, I wanted to double check how these spells worked, because I haven't used half of them. Because I might be able to sap his health, was what I was thinking about. So it's R2 and X, and this one's R1. Okay. That's not making any sense. No, it is R2 and X. But that doesn't work. So I don't know what the fuck they're on about with that idea. But the projectiles seem to be working. So we'll at least go that route. Since all of our damage is of the right type now. That's fine. I'll take that one on the chin. Drink a Ultra Regeneration Potion. Charge up the projectiles while he does that. Some free damage. Now he's in ice form, which isn't super dangerous, but it wastes a lot of goddamn time. Which buys me time to regenerate, so it's not a bad thing. Especially since I actually have the Nidhogg Tooth on right now, which regenerates my health while I'm frozen. So him freezing me is not actually a detriment to me at all. But of course, the freeze didn't happen to proc more than once. There you go, enjoy all that, you bastard. He covered that whole fucking platform in ice. Yep, that's fine. Throw your... Ah! I thought the hand was gonna drop faster than that. Yeah, that's right. Just give me an opportunity to just chill underneath you. That's a perfect situation for you. Absolutely. Okay, where are you gonna go? Yep, that's fine. I can't hurt you, but that's okay. You can't hurt me. Because above him is a safe spot in this form. Oh, that's a problem. Okay, good. This platform's safe. Oh, I got my orbs back. Which probably just made him more dangerous. Yep, sure did. I don't like that move. I don't like that move at all. Okay, I don't switch this way often, but we need to switch this way right now. Oh, boy. Oh, Jesus. Okay, fucking seriously, game? Now what's he up to? Oh, he's back to doing this attack. Okay, that's fine. You do you there, buddy. He's about about to go bullshit again. Do I have any tricks left up my sleeves here? I still have my sea green fruit. I'm gonna equip those because they're gonna be a full heal, more or less. And I feel like I'm gonna need all the health I can get. Because we're so close. In fact, I'm actually gonna burn one now to top up, even though I should have burnt a regular potion. Because I doubt this is over. I doubt this is over after this health bar. I have a sneaking suspicion he's gonna have one last fucking fuck you trick up his sleeve. Well, Bygone, what do you think of that? Yep, he's going crazy. No, I cannot use all the power in this body. It eats away at me. I must put an end to you now. And back in the fist. Oh, he's gonna try to corrupt me, huh? Well. I swore that I would save everyone. Yep, Bygone, round 2. The actual Parasite, Parasite Zero. This is the thing that destroyed the Chroma homeworld. This is the thing that tried to destroy this world, too. This is the source of all of our problems. This is probably going to be the most serious fight we've had. These walls aren't wall jumpable. Wait, they are. I guess I just wasn't quite close enough that time. Oh, I don't like that wall move he's got there. Jesus. Each eye seems to have a different move. On the bright side, he doesn't seem to have an asinine amount of health in this form. He just has a lot of time where we can't hurt him. This is probably going to be at least one loss. I'm just hoping against all hope that we don't have to fight for one Bygone on a second time. Each time we lose. Which, since this had a separate dialogue and a separate start, I'm assuming this is going to be a case where you have a checkpoint, but we'll see in a second. Because that fight is brutal. Okay, good. We do just start from Parasite Zero, so we can figure him out. So, starting with Claws. The claw attack is neat, but I dislike the fact that I can't attack him during it at all. And I really dislike this right eye here, with its constant chasing explosions. That middle eye with its blast, though, was a lot worse than anything we've seen so far. His blocking was useless against it. So I'm not sure what to do about the AoE on that, aside from, I guess, just get away from it when it switches to that eye. But I'm assuming I have to destroy each of the eyes. That's how boss fights like this usually work. Yeah, and that's a full screen attack, too. Ah, dashing with the right timing prevents it. Okay. That's not that bad, then, actually. Okay, that one's not as bad. The fact that I have to quick swap to the right orb while dodging is a bit of a pain, but it makes sense. It's what they've been teaching you the whole game. They expect you to apply what you've learned. you son of a bitch. Doing the quick flip. Oh, come on now. Spawning it in the middle is harsh. What the hell does this one do? Oh, bullet hell mode, huh? Okay. Oh, bullet hell and then reverse bullet hell. Great. Great, I love it. And we're doing that again. Wow. One hit from that also just deletes my shield bar. So glad that blocking is so worthwhile in this game, everybody. I'm so glad that was a good choice to invest in. Oh, right, I didn't because I knew it was going to be useless. The thing is, I knew this was going to be a brutal fight, because it's the final battle. And this is not actually that bad a fight, final boss-wise. Because I'm assuming we've seen all his moves now. Unless he gets a new trick at halfway, which would not surprise me. Because everything else has gotten a new trick, usually, at the halfway marker. And I can definitely see this fight being really easy if you happen to get the right pattern. Because I'm assuming he can do the same thing multiple times. Which, actually, I don't need to assume. We've seen him do the same move back-to-back before. So he could just end up with RNG deciding he does, like, that move we just dealt with over and over again. Like he's doing right now. Allowing us really easy damage clocking. If I stop fucking just bumbling into the firewall. We'd be clocking damage a lot faster if I was bold enough to go for him with, like, the clone blasts or my spells more, since I did bother to make them a lot stronger. But with a lot of his attack patterns, it's really risky to try to go for that. And with spells like the ice one here, it's kind of hard to land it on him. As long as I still have enough healing items to keep it going, we'll basically be okay. By default. Which we're not in the best situation as far as that goes at this point, so I really should stop taking needless damage. This is also a fantastic opportunity to really chew him up while he's in wind form. Our wind effect is really good. What the hell does that do? Ah, we need to be in the circle, not away from the circle. Ugh, and sometimes that circle just spawns in a really awkward spot. Yeep, yeep. He's getting real mad now. I think we're out of healing. Yep, we sure are. Which means it's time to go all in. Oh, that's a cheap fucking combo. Come on now. Ugh. I think we died to RNG on that one. Because he just happened to get the chasing blasts along with the full screen in burst. We got this, though. We can do this. We just need to clean up the first half of the fight. And then we win. I think we'll be okay. I think we're strong enough to do this, considering how close we got. And I think what I actually need to do is go all in earlier on in the fight. Ah, my fucking thumb hit the stick. Trying to run for my life. There's going to be a flash warning on this fight right now because I'm going to be using a bunch of the critical bottles to expedite. So I apologize in advance for those whose eyes it will hurt. It's going to hurt mine too. But I feel like it's necessary at this point. This is the kind of fight I saved those things for. The kind of fight I feel I need to just pressure my way straight through. Wrong button. Yeah, I just know the flashing gets really bad. And when I start really hammering down with that active. Yeah, spawn it at my damn feet. We need to get rid of that curse, because being cursed massively decreases our damage. What the fuck happened there? Standing on top of it didn't hurt me last time. Why did it hurt me that time? Not really sure what happened there. Having my secondary weapons available would help, but I spent every last drop of ammo dealing with Bygone. Really doesn't help that he just keeps doing the chaser phase whenever I use the potion, too. And he's gonna disappear. God damn it. Actually, I'm out of regeneration potions, aren't I? Yep, I was wasting time searching for them. Got it. Ah! Fucker. The thing is, the wall phase is one of the easiest ones to dodge as long as you keep the tempo. If you get off rhythm, you're in trouble. Though it's also very similar to this phase, actually, because this one's not that dangerous as long as you don't stand still. You stand still and you're in trouble. No, I got greedy. That was good damage, though. I don't think that was the play. With it in this position, though, this is definitely the play. Because we can just do nightmarish damage to him. This would have actually been the time to have the... Ooh, actually, he's still doing it. Eat shit, Parasite Zero! Die! Got him. No second phase for you, fucker. You hand me damage on a silver platter, I'll make you eat that plate. Ah, the Fae is too annoying. This isn't possible. I can't stay in here anymore. Hey, she's not dead. Cursed creature. Ah, reveal yourself. No, that doesn't look good. Oh yeah, there it is. Been kicked out. And away it goes. Bygone? Bygone, what's happening? I spent so long denying my power, closing off every inch of my mind. So much of that once freed. I couldn't control myself. That thing. It should not have been able to escape. How is this possible, Bygone? How has that thing been able to get so close to someone with your power? It managed to squeeze a small insect through one of my portals, and I let my guard down for a moment. 2 mistakes that I shall be able to forgive myself for. The portal. The world those mortals came from? Precisely. Soldier, that creature is wounded, but it has taken refuge in your world. Your civilization is in imminent danger. And of course, all of you clowns show up now. The Guardian. You've done it, soldier. I'm sorry I could not give you the welcome you deserved, soldiers. I am Bygone, the Guardian. Listen, Guardian. Calm yourself, human. I know your demands. Your mortal souls still live, and as such, your request is valid. But you must know that the creature that held sway over me this entire time has escaped to your world. What's more, your presence here is connected to a human, one that was infected by a parasite which traveled through one of my portals. Yeah, I mean, we kind of had a weird backwards version of that with the Dark Ark soldiers. Which, actually, I kind of appreciated that, if I'm honest. It was kind of a slap to the face. Hey, stupid, fucking get up and do the thing. Whereas this is everybody on the good side being targeted at the damn party. Arksa. This brave soldier has confronted the parasite that created all these creatures which attacked you in the tower and has released me from its hold. With it, your home has been damned. Is there nothing you can do to stop it? While I possess the power to travel to any corner of the universe, my penance prevents me from doing so. I will remain in the chamber until the end of time, regardless of what happens. If you who have faced the Scourge on more than one occasion may still have a chance against this threat. Our mission lies with our kingdom. No, human. This endeavor goes far beyond protecting a kingdom. It concerns your entire world, and after yours, the next one, and so on. This is what the parasite does. Yeah, because we already know that this parasite destroyed the Chroma homeworld back in those logs we saw in the flying module. So, my theories so far were not wrong, but they weren't entirely on base either. Alright. Attention soldiers, we're going home, but not to celebrate our return nor to join the war our people find themselves embroiled in. We will inform our kingdoms of what stalks us, and together we shall stand against this scourge. You're going to be locked in a looting bin, and they're all going to die. We shall save our world, for Zarga! You heard the general, we're going home. Yeah. It is decided. So be it. To return, all you must do is cross the portal. Go forth, this is all I can do for you. Thank you for allowing us to cross. Do not thank me. There will come a day where you will regret having faced this evil. We will do what we can. Let's go. Soldier, you have absorbed more essence than anyone else. You are almost as powerful as an Einherjar are. Do not succumb to the dark power within you, or you will lose yourself forever. Never forget these words. Thank you for coming so far and freeing me. You have done the impossible. Now go with your kind, you've earned it. Now, the funny thing is, we've been doing the impossible the whole goddamn time, according to what everybody said. And yeah, I'm feeling sequel hook. I'm feeling sequel hook being looped all around us here. Because either this isn't over, or we just had a sequel dropped in our lap. Oh, yeah, looks like we might have been a little late. Just a little late. No. Soldier, after everything we've done to get home, we've lost. We've lost everything. Why are you here? No, brave warriors. Your world is not yet lost. Your mission is to defeat the infestation. Gather all the troops you can and fight until the end. You mortals always find the strength. I've seen it 1,000 times. It's true. That was a quick turnaround. They will not break us so easily. We will not give up without a fight. They will not be rid of us without first seeing us as we are. We are soldiers. Yeah. If we just went through the portal when it opened, as that thing appeared to go through the portal, we probably could have stopped some of the problems. But what I'm betting happened to Zarga is since the majority of its army was taken away by that situation with the portal, the other army may have been the one that did all that damage. The infestation may have had nothing to do with it. It was just a convenient excuse to get us to go fight the infestation for them. Thank you for playing. But yeah, that soldier's done. Do I think it's a good game? Yes. Do I think it still needs some tuning? Yes. Do I think people who are familiar with this kind of game can get through it just fine? Absolutely. I have a suspicion, especially with the way the final fight just went, where I just cut straight through it, using the available tools. I think they may have lowered the boss health a little too much at the end here. What they might want to do to make those fights more interesting and more playable for the average person on normal difficulty would be to increase its health, so you have to deal with the phases longer, but decrease its damage, so that you actually can survive learning the patterns. And this way you actually get to experience the fight, rather than a situation like I had there, where I felt compelled to have to pressure my way through a fight and just destroy it immediately. Because I think if we were in a long, drawn-out fight with that thing, we'd lose. We could not win an endurance fight against that thing, given the amount of damage it can do. But everybody's getting their little happy ending, it seems. More of the lilies are growing. The dwarves are hanging out and being good friends. Possibly more. Edel's hanging around. Yvonne has nothing to do now. The Feis are on their way home with the map man, having solved the problems of their species. Now they just need to enact the solutions. And of course, the most important question, would I play this again? And the answer is maybe. It certainly wouldn't be anytime soon. And it certainly wouldn't be at any higher difficulty. Because I think hard would just be a nightmare. I guess that's hinting at another future bad thing. Yes, I would like to save my progress. I wish I could save it in a different slot so I could potentially go back and 100% it before that, but this is fine. That's the game completed as a caster. Game Plus mode. Care over certain... Okay, the game does have a new Game Plus, and I do appreciate that the title screen has changed. I'll give them credit for that. That is actually a nice looking new title screen, plus or minus the whole fact that everything's on fire. But we've been going for 3 hours, and that was pretty rough, so I'll accept that as an ending. But I'm going to show you the Steam screen for a second, just so you can see something I just saw as a result of that win. As soon as I can figure out how. And hell with it, I'm not going to bother showing it on screen. Complete the game as a caster. 1.6% of players. Defeat Bygone on Soldier or Warrior mode. 4.3% of players. Now, I would not say it's because it's unreasonably difficult. I would not say that I made this amazing achievement. What I would say is no one bothered. No more than 2% of players bothered to get to that point, because so much of the rest of the game turned them off before they got there. Because as you saw on the screen there, that wasn't that hard. It was nasty at points, but it was not that hard. The Bygone fight was rough. The Agonox fight was pretty rough. Defeating all of the Dark Soldiers, that was easy by comparison to the rest of this. Yeah, no, a lot of them dropped off before the balance patch, and that's why you'll see a big percentage change right around the pyramid, because the pyramid, like it was for me, was a lot of people's dropping off point, because a lot of people realized this game is a nightmare. Or at the time that it was. Because, like, even defeating the boss of the pyramid was a 21% clear. And then it dropped immediately down to 13% for the next boss, 10% for the water boss that I had issues with, then 7 for Ratatosk, and then down from there. But still, I'm happy I stuck with this. I will say that. I am pleased as anything I stuck with this. And I do stand by my statement that this game is pretty good. And in its current form, it is absolutely worth people playing, but they have to go into it understanding that this game is not going to be easy. And I would say, for the more enjoyable experience for the average person, I would say play it on the lowest difficulty. Because remember, there is a difficulty lower than the one I played it on. Easy may be the more reasonable experience for the average person. Since this is kind of one of my main genres, I felt reasonably comfortable with 90% of this game after the patch. Before the patch, I definitely did not feel that comfortable with a lot of it. The first area felt fine even before the patch. Everything after that's where it started getting really bad, as I mentioned at the time. In the end, it's a game. It's currently only $16. At full price, it's $20. It's a lot of game for $20. I would say that the amount of content available in it, especially considering I didn't even do all of the content, because I didn't even touch the side quests much, and it took me about 24, 28 hours to beat the game. So I'm not counting in the grinding and the extra bit I did at the beginning to test the game before going live with it. Because I think the actual file time said like 25 or 26. So you get more than $1 an hour out of the game. And since a lot of people are probably going to go through it slower because they're going to do all the side stuff, you'll probably get closer to double that time. So I'd say it's more than worth it. But with that, I think I'm basically done for the day. And yeah, it's another game game done. It's another, or one in the books. Looks like we're rating Spanky again because literally nobody else is live. I don't tend to double raid, but he's the only option. So, and I don't want to raid somebody else who's playing the game because I don't want to get into a discussion about the end of the game and potentially end up accidentally spoiling something for people. So we'll just head on over to him and support his blue only Pokemon run. And that just is what it is. Thank you all for hanging out and in there for me doing this, and I'll be back with something new tomorrow, probably. Look to Twitter, because there may end up being a poll up there to help decide what I'm going to do. I do have every intention of starting to do not not necessarily themes for each day, but I'm going to try to put something together to have a common thread for the days is going forward. Whether it's the type of stream it'll be or whether it's the type of game that'll be played that day, I'm not 100%. It may also be both. There's going to be a lot of feeling out that's going to have to be done with this idea. And those of you who have a way to reach me, or those of you on Twitter, do let me know what you think. Give me ideas as to what you think will work for that. I'm open to suggestions. So I'll probably end up amalgamating all of those ideas into whatever ends up being the final product anyway. So let's go over there and help him out a bit. Bye-bye.